welcome to another episode of Commander Fodder. So as this week's deck musing contained so many 4th edition cards, I thought it was only right and proper that for my virtual pool of cards, from which I draw the appropriate rare, or rares if there's more than one, that can be playable within a certain combination of cards, I use 4th edition as my card pool. So when I did that, I came up with Living Lands. So it's 3 and a green, it's an enchantment, all forests become 1/1 creatures, the forests still count as lands but cannot be tapped for mana the turn they come into play. So slows things down. So yeah, it's basically a forests to creatures deck, and it's in mono green. We'll see where that takes us. We've got 37 lands from 4th edition, and I thought this was a good choice of commander here. We've got 4 and a green. Eudora Grave Gardener, 5/5. Whenever other non-token creature, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's hand, under its owner's control. It's a forest land. So when that happens, if it's a forest, you'll notice this as well. All forests become 1/1 creatures. So hopefully these are going to work well together. I've left it really open. I haven't put any other cards in there. I'm sure there were some artifacts and some green cards which would have worked in green in terms of utility, but I wanted to, as I often do with this deck, leave it as wide open as possible and see where the algorithm takes me. If you're curious about this card, you can see in terms of where it's been reprinted and where it originally came up. So it's one of a really early Magic card. It's Alpha Beta Unlimited era. It's been reprinted. Let me just see when it was done. So 3rd edition. Obviously, as I've said, it's been reprinted in 4th edition. In 5th edition, it had different artwork. It was in 6th edition, and that's it. I haven't seen it again, apart from the odd special set here and there. So, let us run the algorithm and see what's going to happen. So you can probably imagine you've got lands coming in. So obviously the theme is to take lands, in this case forests, and they're being turned into creatures as the way the deck stands at the moment, or being also a creature, whatever. So we basically want other cards that do a similar thing, that replicate those sort of 2 interactions that we see on those cards. But bear in mind we have lands actually coming into play, so it's a good opportunity to do a landfall deck as well. But we'll see where that takes us. So, okay, forest you control 1/1 green elf creatures that are still lands. All forests and all saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures. It's quite fun to have a sapling sub-theme, I suppose. And remember, with that enchantment, here, so we've got forests that become 1/1 creatures, and then we've got creatures that when they die become forests, and as a consequence of this then become 1/1 creatures. So we just have to think about that. Now, I suppose it does give us the opportunity to, if they're only coming back as 1/1 creatures, then I suspect it's going to suggest lots of sort of low mana, low casting cost creatures with interesting utility on them that interacts in different ways. I think what I'm going to do is just take a look at some of these things. Now, we want our own ways to get creatures into the graveyard, but it would be nice as we do that we get something else out of that. So yeah, definitely Ashnod's Altar. Oh look, Zoran Orb. Who would have thought? Soul Ring, just because it's Soul Ring. That's interesting. I mean, anything we get as a bonus of sacking creatures, is an interesting side effect. So, was there any restriction on? So as long as it's a non-token creature, I think we're good. Let's just change this back to stacks. Yep, okay. So artifact creatures are fine. That's good. Now, I do want to protect my commander because it's pretty critical. That's a nice way of getting rid of a low toughness creatures that you have and then getting card draw out of it, and also triggering the effect on the commander. So we can also do things where we maybe make the commander Voltrons. And the other thing is, if you've got land coming in, then landfall. Let's just do this. With these sort of decks, it's always, because it's pretty critical with this, as you probably gather. The order in which you add stuff is going to fundamentally change the way the suggestion algorithm, or what the suggestion algorithm suggests. You may play lands from your graveyard. So how does that? So we control. And remember, this is a May one, so you can elect to leave stuff in the graveyard if you want as well. That's the other thing. I suppose that's fun, seeing as we're playing green anyway. Altar in here. What about blasting station, eh? 10 artifacts. Do I really need that many? Well, we'll go with that for the moment. I'll just see if that's fundamentally changed anything to do with the creatures. Let's get some landfall stuff in here actually. looks like we're going wide. I should also get some mana dorks in here. I suppose this is one of these just try it decks. It could be a disaster, but just try it. Landfall and saplings. Should make my forest indestructible, that's pretty handy. We've got stuff coming in. Okay. To fix that. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's put some 10th edition in. 18 creatures. Right, let's have a look at some enchantments. Oh yeah, that's good. So we'll do that, and the thing I have to be a bit cautious of is we're in green, so it'll be interesting to see what our removal is going to look like. So maybe what we'll do is, yeah, Beast Within. Well, certainly we've got lots of ramp anyway. We're in green, so okay. So that opponents you control gain X-proof. 1/1. Looks interesting. Let me think about that. So, when we look at sorcery, this is where a lot of our other ramp cards are. And other useful utility cards. looking good. I'm going to have another look at the enchantments, I think. So now, we better have a look at some planeswalkers. So I do need to think about, because I'm going to have potentially could have a ton of cards in my hand, or yeah, I just got to think about how I don't discard. Or does that matter? Actually, I suppose if I'm discarding creatures, and this, oh no, it's whenever it dies, not when it's in the, yeah. Okay, yeah, I do have to be a bit cautious of that. So I'm having trouble remembering. There's some artifacts which work pretty well at increasing your hand size. Library of Leng is one, obviously Reliquary Tower, Spellbook is another. As is Thought Vessel. Okay. Question is, do I want an opponent putting stuff in their graveyard? Sometimes that's not always to one's advantage. I can't target myself. Oh, but again, yeah, it won't trigger. In terms of it, well, the parts of the other thing won't trigger because I'll be discarding if I do that. Yeah. Right, here we go. Each player skips his or her discard phase. Okay. Yep. Okay, Kabloom. Okay. If I'm doing, I've got many +1/+1 counters, that's the only thing. So now I'm looking for stuff that just loves the fact either I'm playing green or forest or something else that there's a lot of. Yeah, we can create badger tokens. That sounds like fun. Badgers and saplings. Oh, this looks particularly nasty. Defiler of Vigor. Oh, exactly 100. What do you know? So what we should do, actually, we could get more in here because I put in that reliquary tower. So one more card of any type, I think. Although a creature would be nice. Also, I just need to tweak the lands. I love that. let's do the land thing. So what have we got? Actually, that'd be quite interesting because that's an interesting way of returning creatures that are forests to my hand. Yeah, I think I'll put that in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. Looks like fun. Certainly got a lot of card draw anyway. If I put War Room in, it'd be even more. Okay, so now on to the sample hands. Right, that looks good. Okay, nice and easy to spot the lands here. Right, that's good. Is that turn one? Ooh. Yeah, that's good. Turn 0 spellbook. Right, so I have to pay for that. Nothing else here. Draw. Forest. Swiftfoot Boots. This is nice. Now, what's our command? Is that 5 to cast, I think? Yeah, 4 and a green, I think that is. Yeah. Okay. Get that out. Okay, so at this point I mean, this might be a card that's fun to save. I suppose it depends whether other cards that pump various creatures come into play. But, you know, if someone was exposed, I suppose I could cast this. Yeah, no, actually that's the problem, isn't it? Because I'm going to tap those until end of turn, all lands become... Yeah, so you really want to play this because you're going to burn through 3 mana. So yeah, okay, it's more of a later game because stuff's going to be tapped. You obviously can't attack with it. Draw a card for each creature you control. No, what do you control? Get 5 mana. Okay, so that's fine. I could play that. I could also play that. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. Play that. Play that. And then equip that. Boom. And that's hang on, let me just move that. Oops. That's a 5/5, which is now a 6/6. So I can swing with that. So yeah, this is nice actually. It's an interesting deck because of course you can win through commander damage. So if anybody's not got any blockers, I don't know if there's any artifacts that can turn this into a flyer. That might be quite interesting in the deck. What's this? Whenever creature in space under your control, draw a card. Okay, yep. So that's cool. So, yeah. Well, a little bit dirtly this deck, but fun nonetheless. Okay, good to have a sack outlet. Harmonize, yep, card draw. So yeah, this is cool. There's only so much you're going to be able to see here when you're gold fishing, but another good excuse to just look at the card draw more than anything. Okay, get that out. We can cast 3 visits on turn 2 if we want. I can also just play around a little bit at the moment, early game, so I can get this back, bounce a land back. Maybe I want to make my hand a bit emptier first. Okay. We'll get that out. I think that will be good. Oh yeah, I should have already got that out, never mind. Yeah, okay, maybe. That would have been better to get out earlier, but anyway, yeah. Obviously when I tend to do this, I'm not going through everything, but these obviously can be triggering. I just want to see that, okay, this is good. Right, so that's in play. If I want it, I might as well. Get out Swiftfoot Boots. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's playable. Now we can't just start doing shenanigans. Yep, okay. Yeah, we're fine here. This is good. Takesy backsies. Lair of the Hydra. Yeah, this is cool. Control 2 or other layers. Okay. It's going to enter the battlefield tap now anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. Oh, this again. It's fine. Spore Mound. 5. Which is now castable. So now going forward, any land we generate sapling tokens. So that is cool. So yeah, now we would where's my sapling token? There we go. Thank you. Oh, I've also ended up with a treasure token. So yeah, I could put that into play. This comes back, This triggers again, so I duplicate a token and so on. So yeah, it's quite interesting because there's lots of different things, little things in this deck as well that look like they're fun to play around with. Another land, another sapling token. We've got cultivates as well here, this is good. Staff of Titania. Get that out. Boom. Caster. Commander maybe. Yeah, attach this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay, that's cool. Oh yeah. Oh, and of course we've got sapling tokens being generated as well. So yeah, okay, good. And so on. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. Oh, this will be a tough one. So let's see how this plays out. So, what do we got here? That, draw, war room, I don't know, we'll play an Emerald Medallion, maybe? Play that, Lightning Greaves, draw, get our Phyrexian Altar out. And we can get our life and lands out as well, actually, that would be pretty cool. It might be quite fun to hold that until you see, because there might be other cards that don't work so well with this, possibly. I think this is a deck where you really got to go through all the cards and just spot where there might be like synergies that inadvertently get switched off, if that makes sense. So of course we've got this in play as well, which is reducing this casting costs. So it's fine. Yep, so we could cast this now because of the emerald. Oh, there's a spell book. What's that out? What's that out? Okay, so yeah, now it's good. Our hand's going to be empty pretty soon. And of course, a lot of support cards here. So we could be as well swinging with these if we wanted to. It's got Evoke on it. So we could crack this to get another forest out. We could just make our lands 2-2 at this point if we just did want to start swinging with stuff. We've already made them 1/1s, so I suppose it doesn't hurt. Good, okay, maybe one more. Excellent. Okay, sport for choice here, really. suppose actually would have made more sense to have kept that back, just in case there's some sort of rat effect, actually. So, yeah, it's one thing to bear in mind, rather than just double up. Yeah, cool. We can cast that. Yeah. Looks interesting. Like I said, difficult to, I suppose. Well, yeah, you could, if I was a bit more diligent. I could have been a bit more in depth in the gold fishing. But there's loads of interesting little synergies in here which really need to be experimented with quite slowly, I think, to really appreciate this. So let's just go back to the deck, have a quick look. As this is a mono green deck, I didn't really bother looking too much at the curve. But that behaved pretty well actually, considering we've got quite a lot of high casting cost stuff here. We didn't seem to get stuck too many times there. So. Now price-wise, what are we doing? 482. So I imagine we've got a few lands here. Yeah, there's the Nix. So we didn't see that, I don't think, at all. So that could possibly come out. What's our most expensive enchantment? Oh, this one. I don't know if we saw that. Concordant Crossroads. So you could always remove that, replace it with some other utility. Another creature. What's expensive in here? I bet some of the higher end stuff actually. How much is Behemoth now? 34. Yeah. I mean, there's a few here, by removing them, just make your deck less robust. But there's a lot of interesting, like, scalable things here. So the only thing I suppose is you'd need to find something a bit cheaper, which probably just is a little bit more expensive. Possibly there's some Hydras out there that might care about lands, I think, which might be able to put in the deck instead if you wanted to keep the price down. And here, I mean, yeah, the sack outlets look like they're the expensive pieces. And of course we've got the lightning greaves. Cheap commander. Yeah, so definitely as well open to lots of tweaking. Instance, yeah, not stupidly expensive. And the sorcery is, would it be the Zenith? Yeah. Oh, and the Awaken. That's probably where most of our money is. 3 visits is expensive. I'm sure there's other ramp cards we could put in. So there we have it. Hopefully that was interesting. Just certainly made me smile. It's yeah, an interesting thing to explore is this idea of turning creatures into, lands into creatures. And there's lots of different angles to this, and you know, with that as well, with the landfall stuff, a number of different commanders you can try out as well. So once you start playing with this idea, and you can see some of the creatures here really are just, a lot of like all-purpose green, they're landfall green creatures that are spitting out tokens, and so really this could form, I suppose, part of a wider mono green tokens toolkit as well. So yeah, it's fun to play around with. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next episode.